The photographer's Ephemeris, or TPE, is a great app to help you plan where the sun and the moon is going to be throughout the day and night. Now, the TPE, you can find that at photoephemeris.com. And when you get there to their website, it looks like this. You can download this app for iOS and also for Android. It costs about $8, but you don't even have to buy it if you don't want to. You can use the desktop version for free. So to give you an example of how to use it, we're going to go here to desktop, get TPE for Windows. And by the way, if you have any questions about how to use the app, you can just go up here to tutorials and they'll teach you how to use it. But basically, let's take a look at how I use it. Now, go down to the bottom, jump right in, start using for desktop, click on that, and we're in. Now, the first thing I want to do is search my location, which is Penang, and let's plan a photo. We're actually going to plan one that I already took, but I'm going to show you how I use this app to plan this photo. So here we are in Penang. Now, I wanted to shoot this jetty. It's called Dove Jetty, and it's in Penang. And if you notice, at the end of the jetty, there's the sun to the left of the little shack. Now, that's the sun rising. And this is the best time to take this shot because at sunset, the sun is behind us. And also, there's only a certain time of year that you get the sun in that location. So let me show you how I figured all that out. I went into TPE, then I chose my location, and if we zoom in a little bit, we can see that the jetty is right here. So here's my jetty. Now, I'm going to take the pin and drop the pin right on the jetty. And I can see that on Friday, January 6, 2017, the sun is going to rise to the right of the jetty. And we know that this yellow color is the sunrise because we can see down here. And I can find out the sunrise time. It's at 7:29. Now, if we were to look at the sunset, that's at 7:20 or 7:19. But the sunset is behind the jetty. So if I shot here at sunset, I could never get this shot. The next thing is I want to see what time of year the sun is rising in this location, because obviously it's not going to rise in the same place the year round. So what I can do is I can actually go to the calendar and just jump forward and see where the sun's rising. Or actually, if I just do this, as I go through the year, February, March, April, May, June. Now in July, it starts to come back. So if I was at this jetty on July 17th, I couldn't get this shot because the sun will be rising to the left of the jetty. It'll be out of the frame. In fact, the sun, in this case, will be hidden at sunrise by this mountain, little mound or hill here. So I know now, since I planned beforehand, I know that this is a location I should shoot at sunrise, and I can only shoot it in the winter months of the year. So this is how you can use TPE to plan out your shots. My favorite app to use is one called Photo Pills, and to learn more about it, go to photopills.com. And this app is by far the best app I've ever found for photography. It's much better than TPE. Now, the only downside to using this app is that there is a serious learning curve. It takes a while to figure out how to use it. If you buy the app, just go to their homepage and there's an Academy thing here. If you click on that, you can learn how to use each feature. There's also a little demo video, but really quickly, I want to tell you what this app can do. The first thing is this app does everything that TPE does as far as planning is concerned and following the sun and the moon. But where it really stands out is that you can plan Milky Way shots. So if you're doing any astrophotography, this app is perfect. It'll show you the different phases of the Milky Way and the stars. Also, the biggest difference is that it has something called augmented reality. Now, augmented reality looks like this. It's basically you have your phone and you can see a map laid over the sky. So if you move your phone around against the sky, you'll start to see these different lines, which will show you something like this. It'll look like this, and it'll show you where the stars are, or where the Milky Way is, or the direction of the sun or moon at different times of day or night. Another thing about this app is that you can, there's an exposure calculator on there, which I don't use, but there's also a depth of field if you want to learn about hyperfocal length. I also don't use that, but if you want to know about it or have a calculator on there for hyperfocal length, that's something more advanced, but if you want it, it's on there. And then also it can help you calculate your time lapse. So the thing about this app is that it's only for iOS. There is no Android version just yet. Now, this app costs about $10, at least at the time of this recording. I would totally buy this app. I think it's more than worth it. If you liked photo pills, but you're using an Android phone, check out an app called Surveyor by Adam Rotana. If you go to the Google Play Store, you'll see it's got some great reviews. And also I've heard other people recommend this app as a good alternative to photo pills. Again, I've never used this app, and I do think photo pills is the best one out there. It offers the most features. However, this one also offers more than enough of what you need. So if you get this app, you'll notice that you have a augmented reality function, just like you do in photo pills. You can see the sunrise time and sunset and so on. Also, you can plan where the sun and moon is going to rise and set with the interactive map. And best of all, you can use this app for your astrophotography. You can see the Milky Way and figure out where the stars are using this augmented reality function and some other things that the app has to help you plan your night photography shoot. Now, this app is definitely more advanced than the photographer's Ephemeris, but again, if you're looking for something more simple, check out Photographer's Ephemeris. It's free on desktop. Or if you want to get something a little bit more powerful, I recommend Surveyor or Photo Pills. If you're going to be taking any pictures down by the ocean, I suggest getting an app called Tide Charts Near Me. This one's for iOS. I don't think there's an Android version. However, there are plenty of these apps floating around. Just find the one that works for you. They're really simple. You just download the app and then you can see the different points between the high and the low tide. Obviously, a photo that you take at high tide is not going to look anywhere near like the one you would take at low tide. So knowing the tides will help you get that perfect shot. This one also shows the moon, and what I really like about it is it shows the distances or between the highest and lowest tide for each day. And there's also a part on there if you want to check the weather, which is helpful too. Speaking of the weather, the app that I like to use is Wundergroud. You can find it in both the iTunes Store and the Google Play Store for Android. The thing I like about this app is that it's pretty detailed. As I say here, you can geek out on data. Well, I go down to this hour part here and I can get a pretty accurate reading on what the weather is going to do hour by hour. That's really important when you're trying to shoot a place at a specific time. My last app recommendation, and probably the most important, is one called Maps.me. Now, it's not a photo app, but you need to know where you're going to get to your photo location. So Maps.me is an offline map, so you don't use any data while you're searching for your location. And this app is for both iOS and Android. The thing I like most about this app is that apart from being offline, you can use this map anywhere in the world. You just pick the country, download the location, and it's stored in your phone. Then when you're there, you can see that you get this little icon to show you which direction you're walking in, so you know if you're going the right or wrong way. The next thing is that you can search for points of interest. So you can do a search for cafes and it'll show you all of the cafes closest to you. Or if you know where your shot location is, let's say I want to take a photo in Green Park, I just search Green Park and then it'll drop a pin and then I could get directions of how to get there, whether by car, bike, or walking. Or another thing is that, let's say my hotel is at Gray's Inn Fields. Well, I can drop my pin here and then it will give me directions back to my hotel. So if I'm in a new city, I never really get lost. I know there's a lot of offline maps out there. Google has offline maps, but I think this one, Maps.me, is by far the best maps app out there.